Okay, Lilith, I have your Rakon 76 finished up. Let's see here. So, oh yeah, shit. I was going to set up a... Shit, I was going to test this with a 1-cell battery because I'm using a new stack in here, and it's a new, kind of like the Super S, but it's an updated version, and it has like better filtering, and it also can handle 1 or 2S, which is just awesome because before it's always been like for 1S you get the teeny what is it, teeny F4 or whatever it is, teeny F3 and teeny F4 was the 1S version, and the Super S was always the 2S version. Well, now this new version is 1 or 2S, which is pretty cool because, you know, you can, if you ever wanted to, you could swap this to a 1-celled quad or whatever. Anyway, I went a little bit different. So like I said, it's got a different stack, and I went with some different motors this time. These are, I have used these in the past on another quad, or another Rakon 76 actually, but it was a while back. I never got any feedback from it from the person, but I think that you're really gonna like this. If you like power, if you like powerful quads, you're gonna love this because these are Airblade 1103 10,000 kV motors, and they're gonna give you more power than the 1102s that I usually use. These are awesome motors. They're made by Eagle Power, so you can see they say Airblade on them. Awesome motors. One thing that I really love about them is they're taller than the DYS 1102s, so you can push the props all the way down onto the motor and the props still spin just fine. On the 1102s, if you push the prop all the way down, it'll hit on the ducts, so that's one good thing. The other good thing is nice soft silicone wires, so you don't have to worry about them breaking off like those stupid 0703 motors do, and some 110X motors do. Oh yeah, I'm going to conformal coat this too. I'll do that right after I make this video, and then I'm going to be shipping this out to you, send you over some tracking here in a few minutes. So I don't have any 2S batteries right now. This is the only one that I have, and this is my goggles battery, but I've been using it for testing quads. So I made a little adapter to go from JST to XT30 because you also wanted an XT30 on this one, so that's what you got. You also have the bigger battery mount, so this holds a Nanotech 300 mAh 2S perfectly. It fits in there so perfect. And then I also told you I would give you some XT30 connectors. You can swap over those Nanotechs over to XT30 from JST. So there's those. There's 6 of them in there. So, alright, I already have it bound up to my radio. The receiver is in the back right here. You can see it right there. I like to leave them loose. I used to put foam tape on the bottom of these and put it in between the stack, but I like to leave it to where it can slide, so that way when you get it, you can take some tweezers or pliers or something, just be real gentle and just slide it out just like that. See how I slid it out? Now you can get to that bind button just no problem. It's right there. You could even use your finger if you wanted to, but just be real careful with this button. I've seen so many people recently breaking this button off from like jamming X-Acto knives and stuff into them. So if you just do it real lightly and you do it in the right spot, you'll hear a click. See? So if it doesn't click, don't just keep jamming on it. Just find the right spot and you hear that click. Okay, so after you bind it up, so hopefully you know how to bind, but if you don't, you oh man. You go on your radio,
switch warning.
You go to right here, you want it on D16, go down to bind, push bind, 9 through 16 telemetry on, click enter. Now it's in bind mode. So when it's in bind mode, you hold down that, click that button down, and while you're holding that button down, you plug in the battery. Then after about 2 seconds, you can let go of that button, and you'll see a solid light and a flashing light on the receiver. That means it's binding. Wait about 5 seconds, push enter on your radio again to stop binding, unplug the battery, plug the battery back in, and then you'll only have a solid green on the receiver, and that means that it's bound. Alright, so I already have it bound up to my radio. So I'm going to plug in. I'm not going to be able to test fly this for you, but I can show you the motor spinning up. I did do reverse props on this, so it has the props reversed and the motor direction is reversed. So let me arm it for you. There you go. Motors are super smooth and super quiet. A lot of power. While I have it on, I'll grab the goggles here. And so a couple other things. On the flight controller, I did update it to the newest Betaflight 3.5.1. I also flashed the receiver. It's an XM receiver, and I flashed it for RSSI. And I did set that up in the OSD, so let me check when I arm it. Yep, I'll show you. I'll put the camera in here and then I'll arm it for you and show you that you see the RSSI. So I'm going to arm it. You can see the RSSI there in the middle on the bottom. And then the bottom left is the battery voltage, bottom right is the timer. Auxiliary 1 is set up for ARM. Auxiliary 2, actually no, there is no flight modes. I didn't set up any flight modes. I just turned the accelerometer off and I turned on air mode always on. So it's just always going to be acro with air mode on. No flight modes. So auxiliary 1 is arm, disarm, and I did set up a beeper. I didn't set up my radio. I could do that real fast just to test it. Let's see. I set it up for auxiliary 3. So we'll just call it, we'll just call it bed. And we'll say this switch. Auxiliary 3. And now we'll test it out. What?
My mom said to change me.
Okay, just give me 1 second, okay? Go ahead and climb up there if you want.
Okay, I'll wait right now.
Alright.
Because it's comfy.
Okay, I'm going to flip auxiliary 3. Yep. Okay, so that's your buzzer. I'll turn it on again. Off. On. Alright, so that's auxiliary 3 for your buzzer. So just set up your radio for an aux 3 and you'll have a buzzer. Alright, so that should do it. This thing's good to go. Video looks great. It's gonna fly excellent. Got the newest Betaflight. Very easy to bind. Very easy to plug in the USB. The USB is right there, right above the receiver. So it's very easy to plug in. It'd be easier if you shove the receiver back in before you try to plug a USB in. But other than that, yeah, it's good to go. Hopefully it has everything you wanted. And thanks for being patient, and I'll send you over some tracking shortly. Alright, thanks Lilith.